he was talking about how you have to have a strategy, but then you have to adapt because nothing ever goes according to plan. And I said the same thing with fatherhood. I said, so that's what we're talking about today, right? He said all this. You have to have a strategy. You know how Luisio talks. You have to have a strategy. I said, you do? He says, yes. Got to adapt. You have to change, you know. Everything that grows changes. He said this. This is a famous Luisio the Tailor quote. And I said, yeah, so too fatherhood. He said, yeah, so too fatherhood. And he said, it doesn't stay the same. You have to be versatile. And this is coming from a guy whose shop burned down. You know, his haberdashery burned down and he had to rebuild it. I mean, if you start out as a young dad and you start to formulate a strategy, this is how I'm going to do it. But lo and behold, a year later, and let's not forget that your child changes in a year, but that's irrelevant to this. That just exacerbates this. But you have to adapt to the changes, yes, but you also have to adapt to different things that happen in your life. Maybe you move, maybe you stop going to this one place, you do something else. And you end up changing everything you do. And like he said, everything that grows changes, right? Like a life philosophy. So true with being a dad. I mean, you're literally, growing a child, right? The child's going to change, you're going to change, and just about the time you think you have it all figured out and it's perfect, you think, yeah, this is great. Give myself a gold star, right? And you deserve a gold star. You screw up, you make a mistake. And so you say, okay, that didn't really work well, or you improve upon that. Because it doesn't stay the same. You have to be versatile. And it's like what I wanted to talk about today a little bit was, we all love those TikToks, right? Or Instagrams, videos where the old wise guy is talking, right? The old wise guy. This is what I've learned. These are my life lessons. And we kind of lean in, yeah, tell me your life lessons. Well, and then he tells you the life lessons, and it all makes perfect sense. But we really can't just grab that and use it, because this is the way it really works. You could even start out with his strategy from his great life, but things are going to change. You have to adapt. Everything that grows changes, and as a dad, you change, right? So, and one day you will be that wise old man. But there's no way to shortcut it. It's all about 1,000 mistakes, 10,000 mistakes, and 10,000 adaptations and changes. And it's good that we think we have it all figured out when they're 1 and when they're 2 and when they're 3 and when they're 4, and we can opine about it, right? And say, this is what I did. It's great. It can help other dads get to a strategy, a new strategy. But it's almost moot because it's a journey. The whole thing is a journey, as cliche as that sounds, right? You're raising a living person. Everything that grows changes. Your family grows, you grow, you change. Nothing stays the same. And I kind of look at that. Whenever someone says, I got this figured out, I got this fatherhood thing figured out, I think of myself when I thought, I had this thing figured out, I got it all figured out. And that's one reason I stopped giving actual case-by-case advice per se, and why I like to share the content that other dads have, the things that other dads have to say. Because everyone's looking for a new starting point, a new strategy. And they go through this whole thing. And although I have lots of things I could say that could provide lots of starting points to dads, the dads take it, other dads take it, and they have to start working through the whole thing. And it's just an intense and wonderful experience, right? I don't have to tell other dads that. It's intense and wonderful from the moment they're born, right? So, and it just is the same, as they get older. But there's so much flux and so much change. The best we can do really as dads, I think, is boost each other up, give each other a new starting point if we need one, and we always need one, because it's always changing. And accept the fact you're going to make mistakes. And if you didn't, imagine if you somehow magically had it all right at the beginning. Really? You had it all right from the beginning? You never had to learn anything? One thing dads do is they say, and this is across the board, the dads I've interviewed hundreds and hundreds of dads for the National Dads Matter Project. They say many things that are in common, and one is, I'm going to be a better dad than my dad was. And this is even for dads who they would call great dads. They always want to do better. Dads are tough. They want to just do the work, and they're looking for a problem to solve. And so they have that common thread. I'm going to do better than my own dad did. And as dads, we shouldn't be wounded by that. We should say, yeah, go. I'm doing the best I can. But I hope you do better than me. And he's going to strive, he or she, your child is going to strive to be a better parent than you were. And they're going to go through this process. There's no silver bullet. There's no magic carpet ride in fatherhood that you're just going to be the guy. You're not going to be the genie. You are every day the genie, But what they don't show you are the outtakes where the genie falls off the flying carpet, It's always smooth sailing, never smooth sailing. You start out here, you end up here. It's all good, but it all changes. And I almost say that sometimes I shudder when I hear other dads give this advice, do it this way, do it this way, do it this way. If I suspect that they, like I have done, would do that without thinking, okay, that's a strategy, but that's going to adapt, things are going to change. Everything that grows changes. And if you don't accept that, then we're all mini prophets. And we are, right? In the moments that we are with our children here and there in our home, at the park, fishing, whatever you're doing, helping them with their homework. But we can't see, in the end, we can't see the future. We can't see where the change is going to come. So we have to kind of give ourselves latitude to make lots of mistakes. And by all means, if you have something to share with another dad, share it. Give him another starting point. Give him another strategy. And then he can adapt and change it, right? And if you hear something from another dad, from me, from anyone, try it out, right? That's one of the great things we can do for each other. Lift each other up, keep each other rolling, and get ready to fail. Get ready to fail hard. But that's good, because then you can change and adapt and move on. Be versatile, dads. Be versatile.